Hi, Revellers. It's David Bradley speaking. And today I've got William Ralston-Saul on the line, who's going to talk to us about NFTs, non-fungible tokens. They are all the zeitgeist at the moment. Everyone's talking about them. People are making a lot of money out of them. They're going to revolutionize music, revolutionize art for artists, or the money they make from it. Anyway, so on the 27th of April, William will be addressing Revellers Club about this very subject. And this is a quick sort of interview for that occasion. So, William, good morning.
Morning, David. How are you?
I'm very well indeed. I'm very excited to hear all about NFTs. Can you kick off by just saying what is an NFT?
Well, I should probably start off by saying what does NFT stand for, because maybe people don't know that. So an NFT stands for a non-fungible token. I think the next question that comes after that is a lot of people might not know what fungible means. So probably we should get into the concept of what fungible is. So things that are fungible are essentially currency or gold or some commodities or cryptocurrency. And something that's fungible basically means there's more than one of that particular thing. Maybe one way of thinking of it. So if I was to have a pound in my hand and you had a pound in your hand, and I was to give you my pound and you were to give me your pound, we'd still both have a pound. Okay, they're interchangeable because £1 is
Yeah,
interchangeable with
well,
another
whether it's
pound.
the same physical pound, it doesn't really matter whether it's £1 or another pound. They all have.
They're all worth a pound. Yeah. So it's totally interchangeable. And the same could be with a piece, a kilogram of gold, and you got a kilogram of gold, I got a kilogram of gold. And also you can split it in half, right? So it's divisible. So those are fungible things. So non-fungible things are the opposite of that. If I had a Picasso in my hand and you had a Rembrandt and we decided to swap them over, then you would be owning something new and unique, and I would be owning something new and unique as well, because those paintings are unique. And it could be a home. A home is also non-fungible. No home is exactly the same as another home due to its location or the design of the house or whatever. So when it comes to the digital space, you can make tokens or cryptocurrencies, which are tradable, like Bitcoin. One Bitcoin's the same as another Bitcoin. Or you can make digital assets that have a unique code, which makes them unique. And this could be a digital piece of art. It could be a ticket to an event, or it could be the MOT for your car done as a digital version of the MOT for your car. And these digital assets that are unique are called NFTs, non-fungible tokens,
Because they're not fungible.
because
Okay.
they're not fungible.
Okay, and could you say that the deeds of a house or a share certificate is non-fungible in that respect?
Yes, those could be absolutely, those could be non-fungible tokens, and that sort of application of NFTs is on the horizon. We're still in that very, very early stage of NFTs, a bit like when the only app on your iPhone was one where you could pretend to drink a pint of beer using the iPhone gyroscope, and everybody thought that was really cool. But it was essentially useless. But nowadays, obviously, you've got 1,000 different apps you can put on your phone, and lots of them, like the maps or your bank account or whatever, are very useful. So we're at that stage with NFTs where the technology is amazing, yet it hasn't really been applied to anything very useful yet, but it's all on the way.
Okay, and where does blockchain technology come into all of this with NFTs?
Because in the same ways that blockchain is the technology that underpins cryptocurrencies all travel on the blockchain, right? And the blockchain allows you to validate, make sure that the transactions happen and they don't get reversed or that you don't get hacked. Blockchain and NFTs. The blockchain allows you to validate that the non-fungible token is the real thing. Okay, because if I create a piece of digital art and I put it on the blockchain and it's mine, it will be put on the blockchain with a certain code, and it will also be at a certain time. Now, somebody, as you know, with the computer, you can just take an image and right click and copy and paste, and you can make another copy of the image that looks identical, and you could put that image on the blockchain as well. But the only difference between my one and your one is that my one will be timestamped as the original, because the blockchain records time as well.
Okay. So how does this make the whole process so revolutionary and efficient? So, for example, in this instance, does the blockchain disintermediate any kind of lawyer, regulator? Um,
Yes. So, there's a lot of, you could say, processes that we generally have to go through in life. Whether it's doing KYC multiple times in your life for various things that you want to do, or just proving ownership of something. When you sell a house or sell a car. So NFTs and a lot of these processes require sort of, you could say, quite sort of menial legal work that has to be done, and a lot of filling out of forms, and a lot of that will be able to be got rid of with the use of NFTs. It's still so early to see exactly how and to explain it in detail. It is, we're not quite there yet, but this technology is under development right now.
okay, and so what are the opportunities for NFTs at the moment, for artists or musicians or anybody really who can really benefit from NFT technology in order to enhance their.
Okay, well, I mean, just an easy one to understand and explain is artists and digital art. So digital art's not everybody's cup of tea, but some people do like it. It's still questionable about how it will be displayed. Will you display it on a TV screen in a gallery, or are you going to display in a virtual world in the metaverse? But if you are an artist that makes digital art, one advantage is that the market is your entire world. You're not just dependent on a gallery that's in one location, in one city, putting on an exhibition that's very expensive to put on, not to mention that you have to pay the gallery owner a huge percentage of the revenue that you generate from sales. So you've suddenly got a world market, and you can sell it yourself. You can put it on a platform. You might pay a 2%, 2.5%, I think, fee to the platform, essentially for helping you sell it, but that's about it. So you get all the money. The other thing is if you imagine if you're a young artist and you sold something for £500, and it was one of your early pieces of art, and then during your career you become a very successful artist, and then you get to the point where your art is trading for £100,000. It would be possibly frustrating to think, well, God, I wish I had all that art that I sold when I was young for nothing. Now, in the real world, with real art, that's just tough luck, right? That art, the person who bought that art when you were young, they'll trade it on, let's say for £100,000, and they'll make £99,000 profit, and the artist won't get any of that. However, with an NFT, with digital art, and using something called smart contracts, you can actually build a royalty into your artwork, so that whenever your artwork gets sold, even if it gets sold 10 more times between 10 different people, each time it gets sold, a percentage of that sale, the sale price, goes back to the original artist. And it's automatic and it's perpetual, so it never stops. And that is quite attractive for artists, because it can generate some passive income for them as well, as their art gets hopefully popular and gets traded more regularly.
Okay, and so where can someone after this call, where can they go and see this art that has a value?
Well, the biggest trading platform in the world for NFTs is called OpenSea, and the website is opensea.io. C as in spelt like the one you swim in.
Okay.
And just to put it in perspective, OpenSea in I think January this year did $5 billion worth of trade in digital assets in NFTs. That you could compare that to, I think that's what either Christie's or Sotheby's would do in a whole year.
Right.
So it's already a lot of trade going on, but the number of people actually using OpenSea, it's hard to tell, but it's somewhere between 500,000 and 1 million people. So it's still a very, very, very small community.
Okay, and so when you bought this digital art, what can you do with it? Can you sort of put it on a screen, hang that screen on the wall? Do you use it as a kind of as part of your profile on Twitter or something like that? How can you use?
So a piece of digital art you probably wouldn't use as a profile on Twitter. For a profile on Twitter, you'd probably use a different type of NFT, which is an avatar. So essentially like a character a cartoonish type character that would sort of represent you. I mean, it might not even be a human. It might be a monkey or something like that. And Twitter will verify that the NFT is a genuinely, so you own it. Okay, that's quite important. So for some people's prestige, that's super important. If it's actually just a piece of art, like something you want to look at, people are already starting to display them in their homes, but they do it using like flat screen, essentially digital monitors. And some people just like to have it and keep it and own it, and they might look at it on their mobile phone, which is again not everybody's cup of tea. And the other option is to put it in an art gallery in a metaverse and let people look at it there.
Okay, very interesting. And so can you apply NFTs somehow to physical art? Is there a way of doing that somehow, or is that not possible because it's physical? And
Yes, so this is something that people are working on, taking very valuable pieces of art, maybe pieces of art that are in museums, and breaking those up into shares, or which are called in the NFT world tokens, of course, and allowing people to take ownership, partial ownership of great pieces of art. So this is something that you'll kind of see coming along. This is called tokenization, and it will probably be the largest sector of the whole NFT world, is essentially tokenizing real life assets so that people can have fractionalized ownerships of things that they've never had a chance to own before.
so this could also apply to property, presumably, if people want to raise some money on that, they raise some equity, they could sell NFTs of their property potentially.
Yes, releasing equity from your house. Exactly how that will be done, still being sort of worked out, because obviously you don't want 1,000 random people owning NFTs in your house. But but ultimately, yes, that a quick releasing equity quickly from your house with NFTs is going to be something of the future, and it will simplify that process
Because
massively.
presumably, it's a blank piece of paper. One can design an NFT in any but which way. You can design it so you have certain rights and certain responsibilities, perhaps, or that you receive certain future revenues and royalties. So that is that the case with NFTs?
Yes, I mean, there's almost no limit to what can be done with NFTs in terms of with cryptocurrencies. There's thousands of different cryptocurrencies, and it's questionable about whether there needs to be thousands of different types. Arguably, hundreds would probably do the trick, because one cryptocurrency can quite often do the job of another cryptocurrency. When it comes to NFTs, there's so many different applications for them. Whether it's tokenized ownership of physical real world assets, digital art, ways of funding artists by selling ownership in their, let's say, their music albums to their fans, ways of rewarding people, tickets for events, MOT certificates for your car, releasing equity from your house. I mean, there is a genuine reason for there to be a million different types of NFTs. And therefore, I see over the next 5 years that the NFT market will probably be a bigger market than the cryptocurrency market.
Okay, so if you're an artist and you want to set up an NFT for your work of art, how do you go about doing that?
So there are various different platforms that you can use to mint an NFT. I mean, you can go onto OpenSea, for example, which is the big marketplace, and they actually have an NFT minting service. I wouldn't recommend that for an artist because the community will not take you very seriously if you've just gone and done it cheap and dirty on OpenSea. But there are other platforms out there. Depending on what you're doing, you just choose a platform, and they essentially provide a relatively simple service.
So you just upload your art and then they do the rest.
Well, the thing is, all you're doing when you're minting an NFT is you're just creating a token. It's literally clicking a few buttons and uploading the file.
Really?
It really is extraordinarily easy. It's not easy, obviously, to create the piece of art in the first place. That's where all the work is. But to turn your piece of art into an NFT is extraordinarily easy. And then the next bit of hard work is obviously to promote your NFT because it's. But I would equate creating an NFT to going down to the art shop and buying your paper and your pens and all the things that you need to create the art with. It's not a big deal.
So you teach about NFTs at In Crypto Hub, is that correct?
Yes. So we at Encrypto Hub we run a weekend course that actually covers everything from understanding what a blockchain is, cryptocurrency. Probably about 25% of the course concentrates on NFTs.
Oh, very interesting.
And it gets, it teaches somebody how to buy an NFT, how to store an NFT, what an NFT is, and all the different use cases and the potential investment opportunities that sit in that market.
Great. And so, concerning the latter, um, can you give us some examples of a kind of return some people have made on NFTs?
There are some very extreme examples.
Okay.
So the best example was something called the Bored Ape Yacht Club.
Bored
Um,
Ape Yacht Club. Wow, what a
yeah,
name.
and these are NFTs. They are avatars. So essentially, at the moment, they're two-dimensional pictures of these 10,000 different apes, and you could use them as your 3D character, eventually in the metaverse. And you could have bought a Bored Ape when they first came out for about $200, and that was a year ago. And now one ape is worth $300,000. And if you were lucky enough to own an ape, last week everybody who owned an ape was essentially gifted or airdropped, as it's called in the cryptocurrency world, about $150,000 each. So people who own 10 of them got about $1.5 million each, and there are quite a few people out there who did own 10 of them.
Why was that so successful, do you think, the Bored Ape Yacht Club?
It was very good marketing, and the Bored Ape Yacht Club is essentially a membership club, and it allows you access to certain Telegram groups, Discord groups, so a lot of social media groups where you have to own a Bored Ape to be a member. And the community is such that it's made up of pretty wealthy people and very well-connected people in the crypto world and the blockchain world. And therefore, if you're in that group, you get lots of sort of alpha information that essentially allows you to go and make a whole bunch load more money.
Okay, fine.
So yeah, and now the Bored Ape Yacht Club, they've created their own currency, their own cryptocurrency, which is called ApeCoin, and the owners of the Bored Ape NFTs got dropped the $100,000 to $150,000 of ApeCoin.
Right. Well, maybe we'll do a Reveller coin or Reveller NFT.
There
No,
will, there will be NFTs for everything.
they will
They're
be.
literally, you dream it up, there will be NFTs. I mean, if somebody works at Starbucks and they get Employee of the Month, instead of there just being a picture on the wall that everybody forgets about the next month, you'll get an NFT that will go into your sort of essentially employment portfolio, and that will be good because you'll have it forever. And when you go to get a job at Costa Coffee, you can show it to them.
How very, very interesting. Okay, so you're going to be talking to revelers on the 27th of April about NFTs. So
Yeah.
when people come to that, what can they expect?
Well, I think the session will probably go on for about an hour, and I'll just go through in some detail the different use cases, and I'll also show them like OpenSea. I'll buy an NFT in front of them, and I'll maybe send an NFT if somebody else brings their computer. Maybe I'll send an NFT to you, David, while we're there, and then maybe you'll use that NFT. It will be a computer game NFT, and maybe you'll use it to go and play a computer game. And so people can see it.
Could we actually create an NFT out of Revellers Club ticket for its next event?
Yes, we could. I just need a digital image, and we can create an NFT. Absolutely.
Brilliant.
We can. You know what we can actually do for the event is the perfect thing to do for the Revellers Club event is to do something called a POAP. It's called a Proof of Attendance Protocol, and we do it for everybody who comes on our tutoring courses. So if you go on the course, you get a special code and you get an NFT. It's basically an I was there NFT, and you can make a really cool design with it. And so you could have a Revellers Club POAP for people to prove that they attended the NFT event.
And could we attach some sort of benefit to that, like they get a future royalty on something, or
you can attach whatever benefit you want because it will be in their crypto wallets. So they don't have to have a crypto wallet to initially get it. Essentially, they can claim it, and then later on, when they eventually have a wallet, they can put the POAP into the wallet, and then all you have to do for the Revellers Club is on your website, you have a special section where it says Connect Wallet, and you press Connect Wallet, and if the wallet's got a POAP in it, it will give those members special access to that part of the website. And if they don't have a POAP, the Revellers Club pay up in their wallet, they won't be able to access it. Simple as that. It's just like a ticket.
Okay, cool. Well, that'd be great fun to experiment that on the 27th of April. Great stuff. Okay, everybody listening, hope you can make the 27th of April, 27th of April. And William, I just want to say many thanks for coming onto the show and look forward to seeing you then.
All right, David. Thank you very, very much.